So for Aloft, we are the innovation incubator for the entire Marriott organization. So we test and pilot things at our hotels before they roll out to all of our hotels. So we'll test with one in one room perhaps, and involve our guests and our hotel back of house team, our talent, in bringing that experience to life and testing that technology and invite the guest into that experience. So for example, one of the things that we're doing now is having a Hey Siri room where everything is activated. It's totally voice activated. You can affect the lights, you can affect the TV, you can affect, your telephone. So coming up to think about all of those things and testing it and trying to get, our ideas are big, and so how do we get technology to keep up with the ideas that we want to offer our guests? So we do things like that which help drive PR for our brand, and people want to stay and they'll pay a premium to stay in that particular room for that service, which is, at the end of the day, makes us happy.
I happen to come from the background of Dolce Hotels and our acquisition with Wyndham Hotels from a couple of years ago. We were, and still are, regarded to be one of the leaders in the meetings and conferencing business. And as a result, we pay close attention to group needs and what the exchange of information and that sort of edginess of discovery means inside of the hotels that we managed as Dolce. We've brought some of that along with us in the newer Wyndham hotels that we're developing, and we're taking lessons learned from Wyndham and the more transient orientation to those products and wrapping that into the Dolce hotels of today. So in a way, the audio-visual really is the backbone thought to how we think about hotels, whether it's connectivity for guests streaming in their guest room, the notion of sound through the aura of all senses, if you will, in our food and beverage facilities, to the technically advanced platforms that we work with in our meeting rooms, because we do host some relatively significant learning environments.
Overall, our standpoint on projects really comes from the perspective of real-time content. And so real-time content for us can mean multiple things. It can mean generative content, which we consider content that is driven by data, or interactive content that's driven by human interaction. And so that's how we design our experiences in terms of the content, is to know, okay, how do we create something that is dynamic, but that also has an interaction with the intended audience, and one that is perceivable by the intended audience. So if we're talking about a project that's on a massive scale, it becomes a little harder to say, to give feedback to a specific person. That's why the approach is very different than if we're doing an interactive wall where the relationship is much more finite. So, through all those processes, it's not only our ability to develop solutions or to develop these projects, but really distilling why we're doing it.